Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We are here at 145 Wayland Avenue, which is the place where Domaine Properties is. And Winnie Lambrecht is the curator of Galerie Domaine. And I'm going to pass the mic over to her, and she's going to talk about today's show.
Thank you, Alisa, and thank you, Gallery Night, for this opportunity. So we started a group show for October and November. So this show will be up for a couple of Gallery Nights, so for 2 months. And we decided on a group show because it was complicated during the COVID period, hopefully soon to be over, to have solo shows because most of her paintings are acrylic, but she's a great observer of bird life and a wonderful person to talk to about birds. She recognizes birds by their songs. And so in a sort of a serendipitous way, we also invited Bill Galerie. And Bill is a photographer. He worked a lot in corporate documentation photography and non-profit photography. And he decided to send me some work about feathers. And it worked perfectly with Amy Webb's work. So these are beautiful close-up of birds, and I think of feathers, sorry. And I think all these feathers were found in his backyard, and he hangs them with a clip in front of his windows, and then the light from the outside just shines through the feathers, and you can see the beautiful details. These are black and white photographs, but the colors, the very subtle colors of the feathers come through. And then next to him, also in a very wonderful kind of a way, is the work of Denny Moores on the far wall. And Denny is an extremely well-known photographer, very established, with work in many collections in the US and overseas. And all of his photographs are manipulated in the darkroom, and through the chemistry of the darkroom, he brings out the colors of the paper. So he doesn't color this. This is not color photography. This is simply darkroom chemistry. And he sometimes uses something like, sprinkle the photograph as they're developing in the darkroom. He sprinkles them with salt, and there's all kinds of, I would say it's more an alchemy kind of a process. Very, very beautiful. All the photographs are from nature and buildings, and they look very abstract, even though if you look at the negatives are totally regular black and white negatives. So these are the 3 artists who are in this particular room. And this is Amy again, some work of Amy's. And Amy was very influenced by a poem by Ronald Stewart Thomas. And so she put the poem right next to the painting that is sort of an echo of that poem, of the poem. Excuse me?
Do you want to read the poem?
Oh my God, it's very long.
Do you want me to read it?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to read the poem, A Blackbird Singing, Ronald Stewart Thomas. It seems wrong that out of this bird, black, bold, a suggestion of dark, places about it, there yet should come such rich music as though the notes or were changing to a rare metal at one touch of that bright bill. You have heard it often, alone at your desk, in a green of April, your mind drawn away from its work by sweet disturbance of the mild evening outside your room. A slow singer, but loading each phrase with history's overtones, love, joy, and grief learned by his dark tribe in other orchards and passed on instinctively as they are now, but fresh always with new tears.
Oh, beautiful, Alisa. What a great reading. So we can move to the second room of the gallery. A very, very different feeling. And once again, two artists who totally, through serendipity, sort of echo each other. They both have, in their work, they have universal themes. This first one, both of these are called Border Thoughts, Thought, I can't pronounce THs. And you can see here that's, an immigration, Columbus coming to the Americas. And the second one is Border Thoughts, Ellis. And so this is a reference to Ellis Islands. And this is called Thin Cows Coming, and again, very mythological. It refers to hard times, times of famine and times of plenty. And you can see some of the mythological references. There's an Egyptian god in there as well. And then the next piece by Bill Shockley is called Parts. And he's also a sculptor. And he does his sculptures very much in the same way as he does this kind of work, where he assembles body parts that he pre-builds and then reassembles. Very interesting work. We don't have a lot of space here for sculpture, but maybe when he has a solo show we will. And then the next, this wall and this wall are by a Cuban artist named Evans Molina Fernandez. And he came to the United States about 20 years ago from Havana, and he's a multi-talented artist. He's a musician, he's a theater person. He studied filmmaking in Havana at the ICAIC, which is a Cuban artist, Cuban Institute for Film. He lives in Providence. And once again, just like Bill Shockley's work, there's a lot of references to, mostly to the spiritual world of the African ancestors, the slaves who moved to Cuba. And so there's a lot of folklore in there, there's a lot of spiritual references to his own life. And I met his parents in Havana. And I knew him before I went to Cuba. I've been to Cuba a number of times, both alone and with students. And I met his parents in Havana. It was very moving for me to meet the parents of an artist whose work I had admired for so many years. And the parents brought me to his childhood room, in his bedroom. And on the bedroom ceiling were footsteps of Evans when he was 2 or 3 years old. So his parents dipped his feet in paint and then lifted him upside down and made him walk on the ceiling. And maybe that's why he has such an incredible visual kind of a sensibility. He's extremely prolific. So, it was hard. His work, this is the smallest of his work. His work is quite large usually, so because of the size of the gallery we had to choose some work that would fit on the walls here. And so all the artists who are represented in the gallery for this particular show, because of their generosity, have also been promised a solo show at this gallery at some point, when hopefully we can have more of an audience and more of a grand opening whenever that is possible. And it's sad times, but we're trying to kind of enliven these times by producing and displaying some of the art of our Rhode Island artists. So thank you so much. So was that good?
Thank you, Winnie. It's always great to hear you describe the work. If you didn't know, Winnie's a professor at RISD, so I'm sure you can tell by her detailed descriptions, and we definitely love coming here because I know I always learn something new about art. All right, we're going to send you off to the next gallery.